Is there any difference between using two separate files, UI.R and server.R, versus putting it all in one file?
In terms of how it works, no, there's no difference. It'll still look at the UI and the server in the same way. So there isn't actually any visual difference in how it works and how it works in the back end. The main reason that you would want to potentially separate them is when you start looking at larger apps and start introducing modules and trying to break it down. So for example, one of the apps that I work on regularly, I've got, say, 5 server files, 5 UI files. And it just means I can find that information very quickly. But then if you are starting to use modules, then your modules might mean that you don't need 5 UI files, but you can bring in a module instead. So
Gotcha.
There's lots of different ways of sort of doing it, and it will completely depend on how big your application is, how you want to approach it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Alrighty. I've always been curious about that.
Yeah. Just one of those things that I've not really thought about. I always have them separately. I just find it easier to work with that way. Kind of know where my UI is and know where my server is. I can find them easily and quickly.
And it's too bad that there's no way to highlight, because I know as this thing gets bigger and bigger, I almost wish there was a way that you could highlight on one and it show you where it is on the other, because that'd make debugging way easier.
Yeah, I mean, the only way really to do that is sort of to have a look. So, for example, if you were looking for plot output, you know it's called disk plot, say in line 37. So then go to your server, go do a find, and look for disk plot. And that's probably the easiest and quickest way to kind of find things.
Right.
Your other option is to put bookmarks into your server. So when you go to the server or to the UI, if you put a comment in and put several dashes at the end of it, if you put 4 dashes, it'll load it as a bookmark, and then you can view those bookmarks using either down the bottom where it says like top level, it will show you, or next to the connect button there's lots of little grey lines, and that will bring up the bookmarks, and you can jump then throughout the code to those bookmarks.
Yep, good point. All right,
where should bookmark functions automatically?
Okay, where should we get started?
So I thought we would add some sidebar options now. So we've sort of just got our demonstration charts at the moment. So I think what we will do is now make an upload page so that we can upload our own data instead of having the demo data that we have at the moment.
Okay.
So in order to have a sidebar, we kind of got rid of it before. Yep, it's up there in line 19 and 20. Yeah, we're going to add back in the sidebar now. Okay. So what we want to do is add a sidebar menu. So, yeah, and then we are going to add each of the individual items that we want in our menu. So, for example, let's call our first one template.
Okay, so...
Or example, or, yeah, example's better. Okay, and then we want to give it a tab name that we are going to reference later on. So this is like our input ID. So again, we can call it example.
Sorry, my bad. That one snuck up on me. So sorry.
Okay.
All right, tab name.
Tab name. So yeah, again, we can call this example. When using ID names, it's best practice to stay in lowercase.
Okay.
So if we just call it example
again,
with lowercase.
All right.
Okay. And the neat thing about this is that you put icons in there as well. So when using an icon, you need to, if you keep equals, just to keep it in line.
Yep.
And then, we're wrapping it in the icon function. And this tells it that, so you need to put icon and the brackets.
Okay.
Because that then is telling it that it needs to go to Font Awesome to go and find.
Okay.
So if you go to Font Awesome and you can Google it, you get a list of all the hundreds of different icons that you can use, and it just gives you the name of it and you can utilize it. There is some that you might not be able to get that they've been added to the library recently, and sometimes it doesn't find them. So just something to be aware of, but the majority of the most common ones are good. I can't think of a good icon to put in, for example. So let's try check. So which would be like a tick. And it needs to be in quotation marks.
Okay.
Okay, and then we want a second menu item. Nope, you
come out of that.
You need to be on the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here.
Okay.
Comma and then another menu item.
And then, this menu item, I think you need to put menu item at the top one as well.
Oh, wait, I'm lost.
Then 20 before example, we've missed out menu item.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right, and so that would open that. Then don't we need to? Yeah, that would close.
Yeah.
Close that.
Yeah.
And then one thing I like to do is line stuff up. And then what's?
So if you want to line something up, there's actually, you can like press Control A and Control I, and it will automatically align everything in the document.
Huh. Learn something new.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. Either way,
yeah. I think it's just because you've got menu item on that line 20. If you enter, it would probably realign it. Just to be awkward. Okay, so we can call this one input because we're going to now make this or upload, one of the two, because it's going to become our input page.
Why do I keep missing that right? And icon?
Yep, and there's actually an icon called upload, so I think we'll definitely use that one.
Cool.
Okay.
Comma. Fingers are not working today.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, so now our dashboard body, we need to tell the user interface what we actually have in each of our tab items. So we need to have a tab item.
Just inside dashboard body or?
Inside dashboard body, yeah.
Okay. That's going to do the comma.
And then inside of that, so we're going to have tab item. So that first one needs to be tab items, as in.
I do that every time too.
That's okay. We're going to tell it which tab we're going to that we named at the top. So this first one we want as example.
Okay.
Name.
Is that little or name equals?
It'll be little because we're referencing the ID. And it's tab name, so the same as what we had up top.
Yep.
That's it. Okay. and put a comma, and then we would put whatever user interface we want inside this tab item. So what we're going to do is actually put everything that we've got down below from fluid row 128 and move that into that tab. Right. Keep going, keep going.
Oh.
Yeah, everything. I want all those plots in there. So
All right,
down to you, I think.
Let me check my.
Yeah, that's because we did that. So...
Yeah, I'm not sure where to stop for the paragraph.
I think it's 61.
61. Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. 61. Why is this? My thing
20.
Yeah. 28.
28 down to
61. And inside here.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So now, if you run the app,
Let's see.
We broke it.
Yay!
Okay. Arguments missing, no default. Okay. So we've got an extra comma somewhere. So that's what usually the argument with no default means, is that we've accidentally put a comma somewhere that we shouldn't have. I am going to say line 21. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Oh,
so now
that's a really cool icon.
It's fun, isn't it? So well, we've now got example and we've got input and we've got everything now within example. We haven't put anything in input yet, so if you click on it, it's not going to do anything.
Right.
Now, one of the things is that you can actually have that dashboard, that sidebar, either hidden or open as default. So that is an option. So you can automatically hide it if you want to.
Okay.
So it's one of the options in that. Okay. So, and one of the things that I learned the other day, which I probably should have known a very long time ago, is that all of that, if you actually scroll down, you can see that the plot disappears, off the bottom of that. So what we actually need to do is wrap the entire thing in a fluid row.
Okay.
So, and that will fix that issue. So from 27, down there. Yep. Put a fluid row in there, and then obviously move it all. So open bracket. Get rid of the closed one. Move that down to the next row.
There.
Neat. There you go. And then right at the bottom of your tab item. So we seem to have got a comma on line 62. I suppose that worked. Okay. If you put another bracket down there, that should.
It's 62.
Yeah.
Behind the comma.
I think you need to get rid of the comma. I don't know why there's a comma. It should break it.
Oh, it did. Oh wait, it went away. We'll give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl, yeah. I think it's just complaining. There we go. Yeah, so now if you scroll down.
Ah!
Yeah!
Nice.
That is something I really should have learned a really long time ago.
So why? Well, it's a fluid row inside of. Okay, so the tab item, you're opening a big fluid row and then just putting another fluid row inside it. So you're opening a container.
Yeah.
Container. Okay.
So yeah, we put the entire thing in the fluid row, and then we've broken it up. So we've got one fluid row, and then the second with the tab set panel.
Awesome. Well, it solved that mystery.
I did, didn't that? Okay. So, do you want to leave that there for today, and we can work on putting the inputs sheet together, and then we can go through that next time?
Sure, sounds great.